Ready for part 3. This, my dough, which has been resting, is quite smooth and soft, and as my plate is quite small, I had to divide this into the size that will actually fit. And in this case, I cut it to about the size of a small egg. 3 of those, and I will do one and keep the others for later stage. Again, I roll it up into a ball. Again, nice and smooth, bouncing back in your own hands, in the palm of your hands. Dust the board with some flour, spread it out, pat it down like you would make a bread roll, and now come with the bottle, empty bottle, you can see that, and use it as a rolling pin, and I just flour it. A wooden would be much better because the texture of the wood will retain the flour better than the glass. And just roll it out so as to make it the size of a small pizza. Make sure this flour slightly so as not to stick. And you want to roll it out nice and round. Certainly in my case, otherwise you'd be misfitting the griddle. And I turn it around all the time so as to get the right shape. A bit more flour because it's fairly soft, and remember, I want this soft to create that so bubbly effect on the bread. So roll it in different directions, turn it around every now and then. And you wanted the thickness, as I say, of a pound coin. If you remember how thick that is. And once it's that shape that would fit on top of the griddle, I just prick it. They're going to have a better even baking. If you're using an oven, make sure it's preheated at 220 through 30, and if you got a heavy cast iron tray, baking tray, preheat that as well. So that's ready to go on. You could have 2 or 3 ready, but before I use the nice and clean griddle plate, that's my electric plate, I have a bit of oiled paper, and I slightly oil the griddle plate. You can see the smoke coming up, I hope. And I stick my bread on it so as to fit nicely. And just let it go to a stage where you can see the dough slightly lifting, and you can actually smell what's going on. I might have to reduce a bit of the heat so as to make sure that it doesn't burn. And pat it if necessary, especially the children. Use something else to pat it if you're using the same method. And then turn it. And let it cook through. Now meanwhile I do a bit of cleaning, ready for the cutting and the presentation. Right, turn the board round so I got a clean surface. And on the side I would have prepared my wine, a nice claret. In this case is a smaller bottle, 5cc bottle of Merlot, which will be enough for me and for my next door neighbor. We share it. You have to use the wine produced from one type of grape, a red wine. And Merlot is one. You would have a Burgundy, a Côte du Rhône, a Barolo, or even a Chianti, if you can afford it. I use this one, which is fairly reasonable in price. And I've set it up with a plate for the bread and a nice glass for pouring the wine. Meanwhile, that is cooking nicely. You just want to see the bubbles so coming out, those darker spots, so as to be able to have a bit of a lift underneath those, as we mentioned earlier. Okay, I hope this one is in timing for the WhatsApp, because I had to sort of cut a lot of the time round. But it looks alright, it's becoming crisp, but obviously I got a rim which is not cooked, and I have to cut it off, trim it off, so as not to give myself a bit of a stomach problem. Eating that would be like eating a piece of clay. It's very much like pita bread, and it's now stiff. This will be, of course, prepared in the old days with the Israelites in preparation day, the day before the Sabbath, ready for the evening, and by then it would be quite crisp. In my case, it's not crisp enough to break, so I'll have to cut it so as to taste it. But for the memorial, will need to be broken and not cut. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut it so that I can taste it. And I like mine with a bit of peanut butter. So I cut in little wedges. As you can see, it doesn't take long. It's slightly soft at the moment. It will dry up with the heat. Right, so that's really what I'm going to use for myself. That one is already getting a bit stiffer, so I just pretend it's crisp and I break it up, ready for the presentation for the memorial. And I put it on a plate. I'll show you the whole little table very soon in a moment. Put this to wash. Put that away for my dinner. And present the finished produce, for the memorial. So I hope you enjoyed it, and for the little one, I'd like to see what you will produce and send me a picture of it, and for the best one I will give the prize of one chef's hat. So happy cooking, enjoy your memorial, and I hope to see all the chefs very soon. Bye bye.